Welcome back to the channel, champions of Azeroth. Come dive deeper into the lore with me. Let's see where we left off in Azeroth, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay guys, welcome back to Classic World of Warcraft, Mist of Pandaria. We're here on the Horde side with Steedle Dumb here, and we're here in Ratchet and Northern Barrens. Let's finish off the Northern Barrens. Let's get into it. Not long ago, a shipment of silver was stolen en route from here to Crossroads. It was meant as a payroll to the guards, and we want that silver back. I'll ask around here for clues, but I want you to investigate the scene of the crime. Head west and look for a crashed caravan wagon just north of the road between here and the crossroad. Find out who took our silver and get it back. This Horde caravan was not merely robbed, it was savagely brutalized. Crates of supplies ripped apart by sharp claws. The wagon has been demolished, the food has been eaten, and the silver is gone. And yet, useful supplies have been left behind. Animal tracks surround the wreckage, tracks made by enormous curved claws. They appear to be raptor tracks. Your first instinct is that raptor riders assaulted the caravan, but the impressions aren't deep, and there are no non-animal tracks to be seen. The tracks head northeast of here, toward the east side of Thorn Hill. The answer to this mystery must lie in its shadow. Before you lies an entire community of raptors, ducking in and out of hovels, snarling at one another and working together to construct primitive huts. Collections of shiny things surround their nests. Mystery solved. Wapta twapping can be waff, but I've decided new Wapta twaps that weps womanate much of the whisk. Set the twap on the ground and get it squeeched like a Wapta, luring one into the twap. When a Wapta steps out on my Wapta twap, I'll swink down so that it's west dangerous. It's weeby easy. I would do it myself with Century I won across King Weeperwall. Hooray! You twapped all the Waptas and I was looking for. Now we will twain them from twirls to wide to swada audience. It's clear that these raptors acted alone to steal the Horde silver. It's time to teach these beasts a lesson. Gazrog opens the lockbox and begins counting up the silver while you relate your story. What, raptors? Just the raptors? Assaulting our caravans and looting them? Perhaps they are as intelligent as the rumor says. As if we didn't have enough problems, now we've got to deal with brainy lizards with a lust for coin? Here, adventurer, you earned a share of the rescuer's silver. Thank you. The raptors of the Barrens are smarter than raptors in other lands. I think all those smarts are hiding in their horns. If so, then I could grind their horns into powder and use it to make smart drinks. I'll make a fortune. Here's where you come in. I want the horn from the smartest raptor around. King Ripperclaw leads a whole pack of intelligent raptors up the bluffs north of Ratchet. Bring me his horn, and don't get ripped to ribbons like everyone else I've sent. Great, you got it. Let's grind this up and mix it up with some wine. And all this new friction between the Alliance and the Horde was leading to windfall profits, until Rear Admiral Hartley sailed into my harbor and started poking his prow into my business. He's been searching and seizing vessels flying Horde colors with the goal of depriving them use of a neutral port. I'm not about to allow some fat-fingered human to cut into my profits. Get me the schematics of his flagship. Hartley's chief engineer is soaking himself at the Broken Keel Tavern just up the hill. Ah, this is it. This is it right here. So his flagship is named the Billy Pont, eh? Let's see what it'll take to send this nuisance to the bottom of the sea. Yet another ship from my fleet has been lost to those overzealous humans from Theramore. Their new rear admiral has parked himself right off the coast here. He's boarding or sinking any vessel that doesn't heave at his whim. Travel south along the merchant coast to his camp. Bring me the medals of the Marines and deckhands. Execute his top lieutenants Pyrie and Buckland. Lay waste to them as they have laid waste to my fleet. I see you've made the righteous rear admiral suffer as I have. Perhaps this blow will weaken the resolve of the North Watch. His supply of fresh recruits seems inexhaustible, but the loss of his top lieutenants will weaken him for some time. That dirty pirate, Baron Longshore, was the terror of these waters before the Alliance demolished his fleet and rounded up the survivors. Am I happy about it? Do I look like a bundle of joy and good cheer, adventurer? Longshore raided some of my most valuable cargo before his capture. Rumor has it he buried it before he was caught. I want my goods back. Find Longshore in the Alliance camp just south of here, and see if you can get him to reveal where my treasure is. Har har, so old Gazzy ain't given up on his goods yet, has he? Well, looks like that old floppy-eared gold grubbler just gave me something to bargain with. I'm bound for the gallows. For sure, mate, that treasure's no good to me now, unless I can use it to buy me life. I'll make a deal with ye, adventurer. Smash these manacles, and I'll tell ye where me treasure's buried. Oh, me word is good, friend. I used to be a real baron, you know. The Baron rubs his sore wrist, his face widening into a malevolent grin. Oh, I won't be running off just yet. I'll free me mates and murder my way out of here at time of me choosing. As for you, a deal's a deal. Let's talk about that treasure. Here's the deal, mate. To protect my treasure map, I tattooed it onto me first mate's scalp. Of course, he's dead now, along with most of me crew. The Alliance doesn't even know what they have. His severed head is hanging from a tree at the entrance to this camp. Grab that head and take it to Gazlo back in Ratchet. What is this? I send you out to fetch my treasure and you bring me back a filthy head? Gazlo spreads the plans on the table and jabs a tiny finger aft of the ship below the waterline. There, the hull is thinnest here where the crankshaft meets the paddle wheel, and it's right next to the magazine? Adventure, I can't be held responsible if some enterprising horde adventurer were to attach a limpet mine to that part of the hull, not even if I supplied the mine and paid him handsomely. The ship is anchored just southeast of here. Go to it. Then radio me with this stolen gnome quarter. Excellent. I wish I could have seen the look on the rear admiral's face when his flagship went up like a candle. Let me use my telescope here to take a look at the damage. What? That thing is still floating? Hartley must have moved the munitions ashore in case the ship was mined. I underestimated you, Hartley, but for the last time. Hartley must have unloaded all of his ordnance along the beach. Let's pull his teeth out, adventurer. Run along the shore and look for his munition stockpiles. Light him up and he'll be landlocked and unarmed while the Billy Pont is repaired. I'll meet you back here in Ratchet. Ha ha ha, beautiful work, adventurer. Those Alliance cretins will never trace this back to me. Meanwhile, it's back to business as usual. Smuggling, double-dealing, price gouging. I've got a lot of work to catch up on. Here, I'll let you in on the cut of my future profits. Enjoy. The pirate situation is really crimping my operation. Captain Garvey is attacking any vessel in sight, even the ones whose owners paid me my bogus protection money. We need to get these pirates on the take, and fast. I know just the guy, one of Garvey's lieutenants who's open to wheeling and dealing the Dizzywig way. He's offered to arrange a little mutiny for me once we get these guys working for us. It's all Garvey. See? Talk to my boy Tony Two Tusk on Frey Island to the south. Hey, Mon. Did Dizzywig send you? Good. Did you bring the money? No? What about the guns? What? Leave it to Dizzywig to expect a mutiny on the cheap. No matter, Mon, we can make this work. First, we need the money. Cap Garvey likes to hoard the loot we've been earning. Money I can use to pay off my hand-picked mutineers. The treasure pile is just outside the barracks. Here, you'll need to take care of Captain N. Garvey's treasurer first. Now, Glomp ain't no pushover, believe me. I tried pushing him over once. He don't budge for nothing. Look at that, we are loaded. In mutiny, you gotta make the money first. Then you get the money. You get the power. Let's go get some power, adventure. Gazlo promised me a promotion if I can help him with Ratchet's pirate issues. The problem is these new buccaneers that sailed in and took over Frey Island south of here. They're not just after our goods. They've got grudges to settle. The other night, they even went after one of our war galleons. I've got plans in the works to deal with the situation, but Gazlo wants to see quick results. Head over to Frey Island and start lopping off some heads, will you? Suburb, Gazlo will reward me handsomely for this, and I'll reward you, less handsomely, of course. A goblin's got to make a living, you know. Wanted, Captain N. J. Garvey, of the Maiden's Dagger, charged with piracy on the open seas, kidnapping, extortion, arson, slavery, etc. Garvey recently arrived in these waters, leading a crew of South Sea freebooters, and was last seen assaulting Frey Island. Bring proof of death in an identifiable condition. Gazlo. Ah, that sort of business. You know, these pirates are always looking out for their own. No sooner is Baron Longshore in a stockade than this Garvey fellow comes looking for vengeance. You don't suppose anyone will come looking to avenge Garvey, do you? Maybe I should put you on a retainer. Now, any good mutiny is going to need serious firepower. Captain Garvey claimed all the best firearms for himself, a whole shipment of big, heavy dwarven flintlocks. He keeps them at his side in the other building across the island. Grab me 6 of those rifles and I'll distribute them to my future officers. Tony unhinges one of the weapons and peers down the barrel. Ooh, very nice, shiny, loud. Now we're talking. Not much else to do but close the deal. Now for my favorite part of any mutiny, the killing. For pirates, it doesn't matter who's supposed to be in charge, only who's in control of the ships. Anchored on the east end of this island is the Maiden's Dagger, Captain Garvey's old flagship. He left his trusted officer in charge, Elisa Cuthbert. Once we take her out, the ship is ours, and so the seas. I'll get the men onto the boat. I need you to board the Dagger and blow this horn from on the deck. That'll be our signal to board. Yar! So Tony is running the show there now? Good. We need more pirates like him in these waters. He's a real businessman. Dizzywig rubs his hands together greedily. Speaking of business, I suppose I owe you a cut. Would you be interested in insuring any of your new loot? You never know what can happen in a town like this. Sink me, you were right. There's a map tattooed on the skull. That cursed Baron, he buried my treasure right under my nose, or above my head, anyway. The map points to a place on the bluffs over Ratchet to the south. Follow the road west out of the city, get atop the hill, head south, then back towards the coast, and look for an enormous tree overlooking the bay. Fetch my treasure, and I'll split it with you. Nice work, adventurer. Oh, the Baron tried to stop you, did he? Well, I hope you gave him a pounding. Now, I promised you a cut of the goods you recovered. Let's see. What's 1% of a 0.5%? Ah, here we go. Enjoy your cut of the loot, adventurer. I hate to share, but business is business, and that double dealer Nozzlepot is guaranteed a 10% cut of this treasure. Can you deliver this to him at his post in the north? He's got a little research station upstream along the river. If you travel northeast of town, here, Hornblower can give you a free ride on one of his riverboats. Tell him I sent you. Nozzlepot snatches a bag of gems from you. Gazzo calls this 10%. You tell him I'm going to weigh this. I suppose he expects me to pay you on a delivery fee as well? Fine. Have some spoils. Hey, adventurer, do you see this footprint? We found them all over the camp last night. Nothing missing, but all of our belongings have been examined. The muddy trail leads back toward the sludge fen. Someone's been sniffing around, and I don't like it one bit. Can you go west to the sludge fen and investigate? See if you can find any more tracks just like this one? You look around and notice the lake is covered in slick oil. This once beautiful oasis has been ravaged. You feel a deep sense of foreboding. I'm just a little guy trying to set up my own independent business, working hard toward the Azerothian dream. You know? Well, as soon as I set up shop, the Venture Code next door decided they wanted me out. They've been harassing me with threatening letters, using words like cease and desist. Worst of all, the schematic for my newest machine are missing, and I know those corporate pilferers stole them. Go to the sludge fen and knock out some of their employees. I know they're hiding my blueprints. Thanks for recovering my blueprints. Now my work on the Silver Bullet X831 can continue. Whatever is lurking around the sludge fen, it doesn't appear to be human. Judging from the remains around its tracks, it's also dangerous. You decide to follow the tracks down to the bottom of the lake and look for the creature resting place. You saw a sludge beast being dumped straight into the lake? I wouldn't be surprised if the sludge beast were a product of the Venture Co's carelessness. I don't suppose Sputtervalve sent you. I'm in a bind here. I hopped in without realizing that I need a key to unlock the Shredder's movement column. One of the other Shredder operators asked me if everything was okay, and I panicked. Instead of telling him that I was missing my key, I told him there was some sort of mechanical problem. We need to get out of here on the double. Search the upper level of the Derrick. Supervisor Lugwizzle should have a key for the Shredder. Help me out here. Yep, this looks like the right key. Let me just make sure I know how to work this thing. Rotation control. This regulates speed and stability. Fine arm movement control. Just look at this. I can't believe Adventure Co. could design something this much better than ours. I've got to get this back to the outpost. I suppose I'll learn as we go. Couldn't be too hard. Just some buttons here and a lever or two. Well, are you ready to go? He wrecked it. Sputtervalve mutters angrily to himself before continuing. Hopefully we'll be able to get something of value from the wrecked shredder prototype. My business depends on it. I'll start tearing that sucker apart. We'll see what makes it tick. Oh, let me give you something for your trouble, too. Hey, Adventure, we've got a real problem here. There's an overpopulation of hyenas just west of the sledge fin, and they're starting to become a menace. If I have to listen to them caterwauling one more night, I just might go crazy. Vernon over there says the hyenas might even have made off with one of his stable pigs. We can't have that happening. Can you go thin out the hyena numbers? You'll find them parading in broad daylight to the west. Good riddance. Those filthy pests are more trouble than they're worth. The Venture Company have a small research facility west of here, just past the sledge fin. I don't know very much about what they're doing, but did manage to discover they're experimenting with something called samoflage. Now, what the heck is a samoflage? Well, whatever it is, I want to examine it, so I need someone to go get it. I obtained a copy of their control system operating manual. You should be able to figure out how to disengage the samoflage from it. A variety of buttons, levers, and blinking lights are somewhat erratically arrayed on the face of the control console. A small gauge indicates that the apparatus is currently operating within optimal levels, and indicates that control valves 1 through 3 are currently open. There's a small keyhole set into the lower right side of the control panel. 3 control valves are currently open. The various readings on the control lead you to presume that they must be shut off before the apparatus can shut off. The lights indicating the 3 control valves dim as they are shut off. Green lights slowly fade into yellow, and the switch controlling the apparatus is now movable. With the valves closed, it can be turned off. With the apparatus deactivated, the control panel can be opened up and the samoflage removed from the console. With everything else in place, all that is left is to acquire the key to unlock this console. Turning the key in the lock, the control console unlocks. A red light at the top of the console turns off and all power drains from the terminal. Pulling up the face of the control console reveals a dense jumble of wires, tubing, and other strange mechanical objects, most of which seem to serve no practical purpose. Pushing them aside and digging deeper into the console, you find the samoflage. A tug removes it from its housing. This is, interesting, yes? A device this complex is best analyzed by a team of skilled engineers in a clean room, painstakingly reverse engineering each component in a controlled environment. But who has that kind of time? Let's just fire this thing up and see what it does. Well, that didn't go as expected. I think I busted it. No need to panic, though. Do me a favor and walk this across the way to Brack, here in the camp. He'll bang this sucker back into shape. Sputtervalve scored us a samoflage? Let me see that thing. Yeah, we can get this working again. No problem. Hand me that huge mallet. I think I really put my foot into that one. It looks like I might have knocked one of the load-bearing fluxers into the spokes of the deregulator gear. We can fix this easy. I know an expert on triple expansion piston drives would love to get her hands on a samoflage. Take the broken samoflage to Wiki Bolt Buckle, just south of Morshan Rampart. She'll patch her right up. Hey, no need to walk. This gives me the perfect opportunity to test my personal porter device. Oh, what's this? A samoflage, you say? What's a samoflage? Ah, but look at the way it moves when you handle it, and there's the sound of intricate gears inside. Oh my, I want to fix it and see what it does, don't you? I want to fix the samoflage, but to do that, I'm going to need some supplies. I ran out of 17.5 gauge nugget slugs, and I'm going to need a bunch of those for the work ahead. Unfortunately, the closest place to get them is the Burning Blade Farm to the southwest. The place will be heavily guarded, so be careful, but the samoflage just might be worth the risk. Search the tool buckets, then return to me when you're gathered nugget slugs. Great, you got them? Now I can get to work. While we cast our eyes towards the cataclysm, who watches our backs? While our leaders take up arms against Deathwing, the Burning Blade plots our downfall. Even as we speak, they are gathering recruits and supplies at the farm to the southwest. I care not to meet death at the hands of the Burning Legion. It's time we take matters into our own hands. Adventurer, will you help me keep the vigil? Go and slaughter the ranks before it's too late. Thank you, Adventurer. This old orc will sleep more safely at night. Well, that didn't work. The structural integrity of the camouflage is at an all-time low. I could add some more dials to try and fix it, but that might make things even worse. Look what I discovered when I blocked the release valve and blew the cover off the differential casing. The personal stamp of Boss Copperplug. Take this back to Sputter Valve and tell him to find this Copperplug genius. When you're done here, just talk to me and I'll send you back using Brack's teleporter. Wiki said, what? Copperplug? Boss Copperplug? Oh no, this might be tricky. Back when I was in the Tinkerers Union, Boss Copperplug was the best engineer we had. He defected to the venture company shortly before I left and took his greatest techniques with him. He hoarded his secrets, doling out bits and pieces of knowledge to his trusted inner circle. If he built the camouflage, he's probably got the manual. Last I heard, he was operating right here out of Boulder Lode Mine to the northeast. Get the manual from him and collect the pages from his followers. You found it? Wow, it's over 600 pages and only 30 of which are intentionally left blank. Let's see, Chapter 3, Backsplicing the Reverse Crankshaft Flywheel Pulley. Interesting. Chapter 7, Valve Timing for the High Pressure Expansion Condenser. This stuff is great, and I still don't even know what this thing does. Here, have some of my old tools. Let's fire this thing up one last time. Hey, adventurer, you are interested in treasure? I knew that would get your attention. Word from the river dock here is that one of the miners in the Venture Co's Boulder Lode Mine, just northeast of here, discovered an emerald the size of your fist. I know a few buyers who would be interested in getting their hands on something like that, and I'd be willing to go half and half on its sale. You in? Look at the size of that thing. We're going to be rich. Let's see, according to the rates I've seen on gems going into Undermine, I should be able to figure it out. Your cut? 50%? Don't worry. Now let's see. I think this should do about right. Pleasure doing business with ya, adventurer. Looks like your work here is done, adventurer. You better head back to the crossroads. Luckily for you, my Silver Bullet X831 prototype is finished, and she's ready for a test drive. What do you say? You do me one last favor and take her for a little spin? One of my assistants will accompany you. Your sweet, sweet ride is waiting on the platform behind me. Just hop on when you're ready. I thought you were a goner. Glad to see you're still in one piece. Since you're here, adventurer, perhaps you can help me with a small problem. The blasted harpies have been ravaging our caravan supplies for too long. It's time we slit a few of their throats and diminish their numbers. The most devastating attack will destroy a good section of their lower chain of command, and then we can work our way to the top. Take out witch-wing harpies of any kind in the northwest and bring me back 6 witch-wing talons. That should be a good start. You dropped the last witch-wing talon into your bag. Thanks to you, the lower ranks of the witch-wing harpies will no longer be a problem for Darsok's caravans. The only way to stop the Harpy Raiders is to destroy their chain of command. The Harpies are led by fearless lieutenants, Witchwing Slayers. If the Slayers fall, the rest will follow. Go to the dry hills and cut down the Witchwing Slayers. Make sure they die painfully, adventurer. We want those Harpy wenches to know the idiocy of picking fights with the Horde. You examine the destruction around you and nod in satisfaction. The Harpies' leaders have been dealt with for now. The Harpies you've killed mention their matron, Serena Bloodfeather. Judging from their vile hatred toward the Horde, she must hold some kind of deep-seated grudge. You decide to hunt down Serena Bloodfeather and end matters once and for all. Ha! Well done, adventurer. Very well done. I wasn't sure you were up to the task, but you've proven yourself quite the cutthroat. Thank you again for helping us suppress the Harpies epidemic. Here's your reward. Use it well. Now that the threat here has been stilled, you should return to the crossroads. Thork would like to speak to you. Farewell, friend. Hello, adventurer. I have heard of your deeds from Darsok. You are a valuable adventurer of the Horde, indeed. Adventurer, your reputation among the Horde grows. I've been hearing reports from both the Forgotten Pools and the Stagnant Oasis that you've been a real bane to our centaur foes. Well done indeed. Regthar Deathgate is in charge of our operations against the centaur all over the northern Barrens. We could use a bold adventurer like yourself to bolster his forces. Report to him at his outpost along the road west of here and aid him in any way he requires. Ah, I've heard about your work, adventurer. Your timing is fortunate. I've got a major offensive in the works. The Centaur leadership relies on a core trusted, disciplined warriors to keep the others in line. If we reduce their numbers, the Kolkar will have no might with which to support their rage. And so, I have a bounty task for you. Around the lush water oasis to the south, slay Kolkar marauders and stormseers to collect their bracers. Return when you have heaps of these trophies, and the Horde will reward you well. Nicely done. I'm sure you've struck fear into the surviving centaurs, adventurer. With their greatest warriors slain, they will either stop their advances or lash at us in a foolhardy strike. I hope the latter. Hezril Bloodmark is the leader of the Kolkar centaurs in the Barrens. He is fierce, brutal, and cunning. Defeating him would disrupt and fracture the Kolkars, greatly reducing their threat to us. So kill him, bring me Hezril's head, and I will mount it from this outpost so that they may know fear. Hezril leads his people from the lush water oasis to the south. I commend you, adventurer. These centaur are undisciplined and cannot focus their rage as the orcs can, but they are fierce nonetheless. In defeating them, your valor is proven. The Horde commends your success against the Kolkar, but the Kolkar themselves are maddened, and I have reports that a contingent of Kolkar has traveled to the Barrens from their home in Desolus to seek vengeance. My latest report was that even now they move against these bunkers from the west, face the Kolkar invaders, and end their threat in the Barrens. Kill them until their leader, Warlord Kromzar, appears. Defeat him and bring me a piece of his banner as proof. We're counting on you, adventurer. You have done it. You have defeated the Kolkar. I will be sure Thrall receives word of your actions here, adventurer. Stand tall. You do yourself and the Horde proud. The battle in Ashenville rages on without relent. Our forces at the Morshan ramparts are in desperate need of reinforcements and supplies. We have major shipments of medicines and food headed north, and I need a capable adventurer like you to guard it. Roko Wimpshank waits for you at the road north out of the crossroads. Let him know you are ready to accompany the caravan. This is terrible news, adventurer. At least you arrived safely. They took Balgor and the caravan supplies from our very doorstep. Those supplies are vital for our victory against the Alliance in Ashenville. Balgor, if anything, happens to be my dear little brother. I will rip every Burning Blade member to shreds myself. Adventurer, I need you to rescue Balgor and the captured caravan. Follow the path just north of us, up onto Dreadmist Peak. Do not let any of those Burning Blade dogs live. Adventurer, you came for me? Balgor sobs in relief. Listen, adventurer, we can't leave quite yet. I managed to overhear their plans while they were preparing for the ritual sacrifice. They're planning to use a powerful artifact called the Demon Seed to launch a full-scale attack on the Horde. They're keeping it under close guard over in the cave. If you can get your hands on the Demon Seed, we should take it to my sister, Nagala. She'll know what to do with it. Adventurer, you're back? Balgor made it down before you, and he's already eaten 2 bowls of raptor stew. Considering that his appetite hasn't suffered, I'm sure he will be fit to travel in no time. I'll make sure the artifact is taken care of. You've done us a great service today. You've managed to stir the Burning Blade's nest. Our scouts report that they are gathering for an attack. You must complete the caravan's journey before they arrive. The supplies are packed, the Kodos are rested, and I hope you don't mind. But I made a few adjustments to your gun. If you meet up with any resistance, shoot first, ask questions later. Quickly, they come. Speak to me when you're ready to leave. Some days we gain quarter, other days we are beaten back, behind our walls. Every day we bury more of our brothers and sisters. Kadrak pauses and takes a deep breath. Not only have the supplies you brought strengthened our troops, your heroic deeds have inspired them as well. Thank you, adventurer. Well, guys, that's the Northern Barrens done and wrapped up. A lot of quests done, and we're out here in front of Ashenvale. I believe we're going to go to Ajara before we do Ashenvale, but looks like Scruffles here is trying to join us here. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a big thumbs up down below. It helps out a ton. If there's anything I can do to make these videos more enjoyable for you, leave a comment down below. And I hope you guys are subbing so you guys get notifications of this giant blitzkrieg of content. Again, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day. Peace.